on a few, and I have some question I want to ask you, so it will be really interesting.
Okay.
And I don't know if all the workshop participants will be able to be there, but either way, we will have the recording that will stay on YouTube.
Sounds good.
So now we are live, but maybe let's wait maybe 5 minutes so we can share the link to all the platforms.
Okay. That sounds
And
good.
before that, how are you, Wayne? How is going from your side?
I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to catch up today. I just got back from Istanbul for Istanbul Blockchain Week, and it was
Oh, how was it?
it was a really good week. It was a good conference, good event. Always love Istanbul. The culture, the food, the people there. It's always really good. But a lot of good events, a lot of good side events. So a lot of great connections. It seems there's a lot happening in Istanbul in terms of development, especially in the gaming side.
Mm. Oh, that's great. I wouldn't expect gaming to be strong in Istanbul, actually.
Yeah, there's a couple of gaming studios that are out there, native to Istanbul and Turkey, and what they do is one of the big games that studio released is called Providence. It's a really good game that is just hitting the market. But then they also, it sounds like they do a lot of work with college students in the area. So they bring in a lot of college students and work with them to, I guess, to help them become game developers and build games as well. So it seems like they're incubating um, their own market out there in terms of getting people accustomed to building games.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Because I heard also that the crypto adoption in Turkey was strong also.
Yeah, it's very strong. And right before this conference, there was quite a few people talking about regulation. So Turkey had finally passed some regulations around cryptocurrency. And talking to most of the people from there, they felt it was a good thing because there was always this gray area, just like anywhere else, where there is no regulation, you don't really know what you can and can't do. Right. And so now
Mm.
that they have clarity, they think it's really good in terms of what they can do. And they feel it's really going to help accelerate user adoption even faster because now the companies have more clarity of what they can and can't do and how they can operate within Turkey. But yeah, with some of the what they've experienced over the years with hyperinflation of the Turkish lira, they were already Turkey was already pretty high in terms of user adoption. I think it was second only to India, if I remember the list right. I don't remember if they were second or third, but usually there's an annual report that comes out, and the last one I saw, they were definitely in the top three, maybe number two, in terms of user adoption and in terms of percentage of population.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So I think maybe we can slowly start, and
Okay.
maybe some people will join us later. So maybe just as an introduction, could you maybe introduce yourself in a few words?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Wayne Marcel. I actually podcast under the name Blockchain Wayne. I'm the head of growth at FIO Protocol. And a little bit about FIO. I know we'll probably dive more into it, but we focus on simplifying that user experience in terms of crypto transactions, really sending and receiving any kind of digital asset. And that also expands to other ways you can use our protocol to simplify the user experience in crypto and Web3. But I'm a long-time educator in the space. I've been helping projects for years create content, create educational courses around basics. I'm really passionate about educating others, so that's why I love what you're doing with BAM. And FIO for me, it was just a natural progression of as I started to work more and more in the industry. FIO is a protocol that makes using crypto easier. So we need both of those. We need education and we need projects that simplify that user experience. So that's kind of what we do. So my whole main goal is user adoption, educate more
Yeah,
people on what this technology is, why it's important, and how they can use it.
yeah, we have the same goal. I like that. And before we dive deep into what FIO protocol is doing, can we first highlight what are the main blockers to mass adoption in terms of usability?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is funny because I gave a speech in Belgrade Blockchain Week back in June, and that was my topic: the barriers to mass adoption, and it's really all the friction with onboarding and that user experience. Some of us are, let's start with the wallet, right? Being able to set up a wallet.
Mm.
If you have a user go to say MetaMask, or not really to knock MetaMask because there's a lot of other wallets that are like this, but that initial experience for someone brand new, if they have to stop somewhere and write down a seed phrase, most people don't handle that properly because maybe they're not even in the right place to do it. So that's one friction point. Having other ways for people to secure their keys to their wallet without having to write down those long seed phrases. There's other methods that can do that, and we're starting to see that evolve into wallets like Edge Wallet and other wallets that use what's called MPC technology, to where they secure their private key another way through their social credentials or through a mix of other things. I think that's one of the keys. Second thing is what we solve at FIO is the first time you go to send a crypto transaction or receive a crypto transaction. Diane, you could probably attest to this. I know, I think back to my first time I went to send Bitcoin and I was like, what is this? And I called a friend of mine and he scared me. He said, basically, you got to copy and paste that wallet address. And then when you paste it, you got to make sure that you don't accidentally change anything. If you get one letter or number wrong, it's going to send it to the wrong address or you're going to lose your money forever. And that scared me, right? So that's a friction point because people want to be able to simply send and receive. So I think that user experience of being able to send and receive assets is super easy. And so you can either rely on the user to figure it out, which most of us have, but new people coming in, there's more and more people that are coming in for the convenience. And they don't really care that it's blockchain or that it's crypto in the background. They just want to know, can I use it and does it work? Right? Because it does work better if you're trying to send money from one country to another and you use Western Union. That process is cumbersome and it costs you quite a bit. Whereas if you're trying to send Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency from one country to another, it doesn't matter. It's super simple. But the main part of friction is that wallet address. And we hide that. Make sure the user sends it to the right address. Make sure they send it on the right chain. If they're using our protocol, it stops those mistakes from happening. So it's as simple as sending an email. And that's where we have to get with that. You know, there's some other barriers to adoption, education being a big one. People really understand. Most of us have had maybe one type of money our whole life, and that's all we've ever known. For me, it's the dollar. For you, it may be whatever currency in wherever you're listening from that country has been using. But money has evolved over the years and it continues to evolve. And, you know, having the internet, having a digital native currency or currencies is needed. And also one that's out of control of people that can manipulate the supply and just, you know, at a whim, double, triple the monetary supply, like we saw happen in many countries, especially during the COVID pandemic. Was those money supplies were grossly inflated, and we are experiencing that inflation now. So I think there's a lot of reasons for people to understand it, but there's a lot of misconceptions. So we've got to educate people on what this is, what it isn't. It's not a get rich quick scheme. There are scams in crypto. There are scams in every industry. Like we have them in the stock market here, in real estate. You just have to educate yourself. Educating yourself helps protect you from falling for some of those scams. And so that's really the main thing. Is I can't remember all of my talking points from Belgrade, but those are the top ones, right? We've got to simplify that user experience, make it simple. And the word I always use is frictionless, because anytime you encounter friction, that's where some people will be like, oh, well, I'm going to go back. You know, this other system I was using before, it may not be as great as what cryptocurrency is, but it at least worked for me. And so we've got to make those processes easier, because if not, most people don't care that it's blockchain. They just care how it works. And I'll always point a reference back to, you think about the internet adoption cycle. The internet was around for many years before it really started to accelerate user adoption. And what happened? We made it easier. Before, it used to be complicated. You used to have to understand coding to send an email, and it took a few days to get there. We built systems that made that easier. Then to go to websites, you used to have to know the IP address of the website to go to, because the internet natively doesn't know website addresses. It knows IP numbers. So you had to remember the IP address of the website you wanted to go to. When protocols were designed to lay on top of that IP address, to where you type in a website address and it resolves to that right IP you need to be pointed to for that website, then a lot more people started using it. And now today, people don't even realize that it still operates with that IP address. They don't even know what an IP address is. They just know I type in the website and I get there. And it should be the same way when you look at this technology. They don't have to understand, encryption, or why those long public wallet addresses are important, but they don't need to understand, what they are or even see them if there's something in the middle that helps them get the right address.
So I would say that Fuel is simplifying the Web3 experience the same way email addresses simplify the internet experience.
Yes, very much so. Very much. I use those analogies quite often. So either email or website addresses. It's those two things. You because it doesn't matter how the technology works. You just want to make sure if you send something, it's going to get there, right? Whether it's an email, whether it's you're trying to get to a website, the right website address, or in this case, you're trying to send currency to somebody else, send value or send an asset. There's so many things you can send on there. That it gets to the right place without any kind of friction or mistake to where, oh my God, it's going forever.
So now I understand that Fuel helps me replace the really long address to an address that is simple, that can be read by anyone. But how do I get started if I want to have a Fuel handle?
Yeah, so the best thing to do, there's two different ways to get handles because our protocol is integrated into quite a few different wallets and exchanges. So if you go to fio.net, fio.net, you have a couple options. You can go to our ecosystem page and see our partners that use our protocol. So you can go into Trust Wallet or Edge Wallet, or there's a handful of other wallets that you can actually go in and register a handle. So if you go into Edge Wallet, it's your username at Edge that you can set up, or you can customize it even more if you want. Our handle's in the format of user at domain. So you can get a free handle that'll be your username at Edge. So in your case, if it's available, it could be Diane at Edge if that's available. And then you can also customize it because maybe you want your domain, in your case, say you want it to be BAM or your last name or your company name, whatever you want it to be. You can also choose to purchase a low cost domain that allows you to actually customize it even more. So then you can make handles. I purchased my last name as a domain, and each one of my kids has a handle that represents their name. So now if I want to send to them, I can just type in their name and send it without looking up. Okay, if I want to send them Solana today to the wallet I'm saving for them, then I don't have to look up what their Solana address is. I know it's the same handle because that handle is universal and works for all chains that wallet supports. So you can go into our ecosystem, find a partner that's using our protocol, or you can also, if you want to use it, maybe your favorite wallet or exchange hasn't integrated our protocol yet, and you want to register your own handle. You can go with from our FIO page, fio.net. There's an option there to register your own handle, and it takes you to the FIO app page. The FIO app page allows you the same way to register a handle. Now, there's some different domains that we've made public for everybody, so you don't necessarily have to buy a domain if you want to use a handle. You can use one of the public ones. So like at Wallet, at Hodl, at Moon, so you can do that. So like one of mine is Wayne at Wallet. And then what you can do there is then you can link your wallet addresses manually in there for whatever wallet you want to connect it to. So I'll give an example I always give people because I'm in the US and I get paid in crypto. So I usually cash out through Coinbase. And so what I do is I have my Coinbase wallet addresses linked to a FIO handle that I set up in the FIO app. And now, whether I want to deposit to Coinbase or somebody wants to send me, or the guy doing our payroll wants to send crypto to me, they put in that, they type in that handle that I have linked to my Coinbase address, and it automatically will pull the right wallet address in and deposit those funds into Coinbase. So I can use it even in a wallet or exchange that has not integrated our protocol yet. And then there's other features you can do within the FIO app. You can link your FIO handle to your social media account. You can link it to all your wallet addresses. It allows you to, and not every handle is going to be public, right? I don't recommend someone to link their social media accounts to maybe a handle that's linked to their cold storage wallet, because your cold storage is where you keep your majority of your assets that you want to protect. And that's private, right? But public, right? We all have public accounts. So I have one specifically, Blockchain at Wayne, that's linked to my public accounts. And so if someone were to look that up, they can look up my handle and they can get my wallet addresses and my social media account. So just like anything else, I have an email address that I give out to everybody, and I have other ones that I keep private that I only use for specialized accounts. So it's the same concept here. But either way, like I said, FIO app, you can register a handle, or you can go to any of our partner ones. And typically, if it's your first handle, you'll get that handle for free. First handle within a wallet partner. So the first time you set up an Edge or Trust Wallet, you get one for free. And when you set up your FIO app, you get your first one for free as well. And it gives you those options. We want it to be a low cost, low barrier of entry for people. So even once you register your first one on the FIO app, your second one is going to be barely more than, a little bit more than $1. for your handle. And if you want to buy your own domain is only $40 a year, which is very low cost compared to other domain providers. Because, like, say you wanted at Diane, and if Diane was a domain that was available, it would only be $40. Where you go to other places to buy some of these Web3 domains, and for something short like that, they may charge you. I think the last time I looked one up for a guy named Joshua, it was like $5,000 for the cheapest one. So we're not looking to speculate and sell domains and handles for a lot of money. Our goal is user adoption.
And there's a question in the chat.
Yes.
Someone says they asked me to pay about $1 to get the free handle. So they
Yeah.
don't understand why are some handles free and why are some handle costly, and they cost $1 or more.
Yeah, so there's usually always one or more that's free within the FIO app, unless you've already registered one. If you've already registered one, then you typically will pay for them after that, because every transaction happens on chain. What happens with free handles, even though we're the protocol, we don't run the blockchain. The blockchain is run by the network, and so there's always a cost to register. And so for the free ones, we actually pay for that first one for free. Um, but if you go into the FIO app, there may be some premium domains. So certain domains are considered premium, which means you always have to pay if you want to register on that domain. So it's usually like a premium domain that's set. But like I mentioned, at Wallet, at Hodl, at Moon, those should all be able to be registered for $1. On that page. So that's typically the concept, because the goal is the first one's for free. We pay for it. After that, you typically have to pay more for it. So, but every time you go to the FIO app page, there's an option for a free handle if you haven't already registered one.
And there's also another question we had during the workshops.
Uh-huh.
Is it secure? Like if tomorrow, for instance, the FIO website shuts down, will I still be able to keep my handle or domain?
Yeah, so it's secure because it's basically run off of the chain. Everything you see on the website, the FIO app, that's all pulling data from the blockchain. So you have 100% ownership. And that's actually what makes us unique compared to other Web3 domain providers. Not to talk bad about any of them specifically, but when you think about what they have, is typically they're a smart contract that's built on another chain. So whether that be Ethereum or other chains, and that smart contract owner has the right to revoke those privileges of that handle or domain. I've had it happen before for another Web3 domain provider, where years ago I had a Web3 domain, and one day I woke up and it was gone from my wallet. And in place, I had an email that said that they had to eliminate that one because they weren't supposed to be selling that particular name. So with ours, we can't even govern the product. Like, we can't even make a change if we wanted to as FIO. We would have to basically have the whole network vote on it. So there's block producers. We have nodes, and then also if you're staking, you have the ability to vote too. So our token allows you to stake and participate in governance. Just last week, we had another board vote. We did have a new board member that was elected off of that vote, but everybody that is staking tokens is able to vote on that. They can either proxy their votes to whatever block producer is going to stake with. So if they don't want to get involved in voting, they can proxy their vote to whoever the block producer is, or they can vote themselves. And so it really creates a governance to where no one person has control over it. So it's very safe, very secure. We've been live for over 4 years now. 4 years as of March of 2020 was our mainnet when our mainnet went live, and so we've had no security issues, no issues like that, because it's like that. No one person or one group has control over the network. It is truly spread, globally across the many different block producers and anybody that's staking. Which staking is a good option because you can stake your tokens, and it fluctuates anywhere, and it's been fluctuating anywhere between 10 and 12% APY that it's paying. So not only are you being able to participate in governance, but by staking, you're earning more tokens over time as well too.
And do I need to hold the token to enjoy the free handle?
No. Our protocol is actually designed to where you can start using it without having to have any tokens. So you could go in, register that free handle. What comes with each handle is what's called 100 bundled transactions. So 100 bundled transactions means you can start linking your wallet addresses to it, because every time you link wallet addresses to a handle, that's a transaction that's happening on chain. In other types of protocols, as soon as you may get something and you want to interact with it, you have to go out and find tokens to pay gas fees. So with this allows you to be able to map your wallet addresses. So one FIO handle is universal with all your different wallet addresses. So you can link one of every type of blockchain address to it. And when you do that, it's going to pay out of the bundle transactions. You can link up to 5 chain codes per bundle transaction. So realistically, you can link up to 500 different blockchain addresses to that. Now, you don't have to link every single individual address, because when you think about it, if you're dealing with tokens that are on Ethereum, or say tokens on Solana, because that's been the hot one lately, right? So say you have 10 different tokens on Solana, they all use the same blockchain address. It's that same original Solana address. So you would link your Solana chain code to that. So it allows you to get in and start using it without needing tokens. The only thing you really need tokens to pay gas for is if you want to send and receive tokens, or if you want to send and receive handles or domains, because you can actually, the domains and the handles themselves are NFTs. So if I wanted to register a handle and then send it to you, Diane, I could do that. I could register it. And then once I register it, I can get your address or your handle, and I can send it to you just like I would send any other cryptocurrency. I've done that for quite a few people. And so for that, you need gas fees, but to be able to start using the protocol right away, there's no gas needed.
And now there's another question we had during the workshop, so I will ask it to you.
Sure.
What is the utility of your token, and is it a good investment for the next bull run?
I'm a little biased. I don't like to give financial advice, but I'll tell you, in the long term, I think utility is going to drive value. Right now, a lot of hype. We see tokens that have a lot of value, but they don't have a lot of utility behind it. So it's important to ask the question about utility, because I think that's going to be more long term value. And some of these tokens that we see that pump up in price early on that don't really have a lot of utility, they're not going to last for the long term, or they're not going to stay up there in value. So if you're judging your investment based off of utility, we definitely have a lot of utility for the token. As I mentioned, you can stake and participate in governance on our protocol. You can earn an API, and then the FIO token is what is utilized throughout the FIO ecosystem to register FIO handles, register FIO domains, to send FIO requests is another one we haven't talked about. But being able to send a decentralized payment request to someone, and being able to request any type of cryptocurrency, put in a memo of what the request is for. Um, in our world where I'm from, I always compare it when I'm talking to people about like PayPal or Venmo. People are familiar with those centralized payment type systems to where you can request funds from people. Well, this allows you to do it in a decentralized manner for any cryptocurrency. And it's a private request, so nobody else can see the data of the request. So even though the request is shown on chain, the data is encrypted, so nobody can tell what the request is, what it's for, or anything like that. So when, like, if I was to send you a FIO request for payment, or vice versa, only you and I would be able to see the data of that request. And then the receiver of the request would just have to approve it, and then the funds would be pushed through. So that's another utility of the token, because you're able to send those FIO requests using tokens once you run out of those bundled transactions. Once you run out of bundled transactions, you have the option to either buy another batch, which is typically around $1 to $1.50 worth of FIO tokens for another 100 transactions, or you can just pay gas as you go. And so that's the utility, the main utilities of the token as of right now.
And if I focus on the FIO request, it means that you can send me a request saying, "Hey, Diane, can you pay me $10?" I will receive it, and I will be able to click to accept, and you will automatically receive the $10 from my FIO account.
Yes, yes. So once you click to, if you're the person that receives the request and they're requesting funds from you, once you approve it in the wallet, it will send it to you. There's a few wallets that have it integrated already. We have quite a few more that are working on it. And so right now it's live in the Edge wallet. You can try it out there. It's live in the Dopamine wallet. And there's a few others. If you go back to our ecosystem page and filter by FIO requests, it'll tell you which partners allow you to do requests. And the beauty of that is it's not a system to where, if I'm an Edge and you're not an Edge wallet, like say you had Dopamine wallet and I had Edge, it works across different wallets as long as those partners have integrated the protocol. So it's not just have to be from Edge to Edge. It can be from one wallet to another, whoever's using our protocol. And when you, so, if I sent you a request for $10 of Bitcoin and I put in the memo, hey, invoice 123, you receive it, you think everything looks good. I request $10 worth of, say, Bitcoin or any other crypto. When you hit accept are, approved within your wallet, then you're automatically agreeing, like you're pushing to send the funds to the person that sent the request.
Okay. So we talked about the utility of fuel for personal use, but can it also be useful for business?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And we actually have a few institutional partners that are integrating FIO right now. But any business can utilize FIO. They could get their business name as a domain. And then, depending on their business model, they could either let their employees register handles on those domains, or they can, if they're, depending on the type of business, if they want their end user or customers to register, they can allow their customers to register a handle on that. So, like gaming projects, if they want to have all their users get their username at their whatever the game name is for that game, they can do that. But even traditional businesses can use it as well. And I think as you see more and more people start accepting cryptocurrency and utilizing cryptocurrency, there's going to be a need to simplify that process. Even think about nonprofits. If you see any nonprofits today that accept cryptocurrency, I guarantee you that right now they have a list of all those different wallet addresses: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, right? All whatever they're willing to accept. Imagine if they just be able to put one FIO handle. And if they had that one FIO handle, that people can send whatever they want to it. So a lot of nonprofits, a lot of businesses that are raising funds, they can have that ability to have one handle that links to all their different wallet addresses to simplify the experience of whether or not they're accepting crypto payments or they're accepting donations because maybe they're a nonprofit NGO or something like that, that where they want to accept funds and other things, which is important to do because even if you're listening to this and you have a traditional business or traditional nonprofit, even though you may not have many people today or hardly anybody asking to pay you in crypto, once they know that you accept it, then you'll probably start to see more and more people wanting to pay you in cryptocurrency or donate in cryptocurrency. Because I know me personally, like if I wanted to donate to an organization that I'm passionate about, if they accept dollars, I don't use dollars that much anymore, like in a bank account. So may not have much in there. But if they have a crypto address in there, guess what? I've got some on my wallet. I'd be willing to send it over and donate to a cause I felt worthy about. So it just makes that process simpler. So whether it's a business, an individual, a nonprofit organization, could even be a religious entity, because typically most religious work around the world is supported by donations um, and basically people just looking to support causes they believe in. And cryptocurrency breaks down a lot of those barriers. Because if I want to support missionary work in another country, right now, those are some of the organizations that have the hardest time getting the money from one to another, because it has to move through so many different banks and countries and exchanges. Whereas if I'm using cryptocurrency, I can make that easier right away. So that'll help people realize how simple that process is. Cryptocurrency itself already makes it easy to get money from point A to point B, and then being able to use the FIO protocol will just simplify that even more.
And could it be used by an e-commerce, for instance?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It could be used in e-commerce. We've actually had Coin Payments integrated our protocol into their platform. If you're familiar with Coin Payments, they're a payment processor, an online payment processor for websites, to where if your website wanted to accept cryptocurrency, you could do that. And so what happens is they've actually used the FIO request, to where if you go into a website and you're trying to buy something or somebody and they're using Coin Payments for crypto, then when you select pay with crypto, it gives you the option to pay with a FIO request. And what you would do is you would send the request from the website to your own wallet. So I did this once and it was super easy. Like I was actually, I did a demo where I ordered a bottle of hot sauce because that was one of the partners that we were looking at ordering from. So in the demo video, I got to the checkout point. I selected I want to pay with Bitcoin, and then I selected pay with a FIO request, and I typed in my own handle, and I hit submit. When I hit submit, the FIO request went to my Edge wallet, opened up my Edge wallet, approved the FIO request, and my checkout cart was paid for. So it can definitely be used for e-commerce, and that's just one example. I mean, if someone just wants to provide their FIO handle for the payment request, not for the request, just for the payment, to where someone can see it, because your only options are right now in a lot of checkout carts is to either copy and paste that long wallet address, copy it from the website and then paste it into the wallet you want to send it from, or scan a QR code, um, which QR codes can be a little bit easier to use, but it's just super simple. If they have they provide you with a FIO handle, and you just have to
Mm.
type in that handle to send it. So I think as we see more and more adoption of payments and stuff, we'll start to see um, more and more businesses using it as well, because I think that's a big use case to where that business can use it for multiple different reasons, whether it's internal payments or whether it's collecting from customers.
And now, can you tell us more about the FIO database you have, FIO.id?
Oh yes, FIO.id. So FIO.id was a tool that was built by our team recently to allow you to simply look up FIO handles, and the reason behind that too is also if if I'm dealing with a wallet or exchange that doesn't have a FIO address linked to it, and maybe someone tells me, "Hey, just send payment to," and they give you a FIO handle. Anything that's in the format of user at domain, that's going to be FIO. So if they tell you that, and then maybe the wallet you want to send it from hasn't integrated the FIO send feature, then I can just go to FIO.id. I can type in a handle, and it'll pull up all the different wallet addresses tied to that handle. And then it gives me an option to either scan the QR code or copy the wallet address. So it even simplifies that lookup process if you're using a wallet that hasn't integrated any parts of our protocol yet. But the other features, as I mentioned before, is you can also link your socials to it. So if someone was to look up, go to FIO.id and look up blockchain at Wayne, which is my handle that I've made public and link my socials to, then they'll be able to see my Twitter, my LinkedIn, everywhere else. They can connect with me straight from there if they want to. So it's almost like my decentralized business link tree, I guess you could say. If
Mm.
someone wants to connect with
Mm.
me, and so you can see those. But then also, if that person has created any NFTs and they've attached a FIO signature to those NFTs, which is something we haven't really touched on, but it's basically being able to use your FIO handle if you're an NFT creator to attach a digital signature to that NFT. What did we think about hundreds of years ago when people were creating people were making artists were making art, they would sign that art when they were done. Well, this is not actually signing the picture, but you're attaching a digital signature to that NFT that says, hey, this is authentic. If it has this signature, then it's from me. And I think that's going to be important in the future when people are looking to buy NFTs on secondary markets to be able to prove that it's the authentic and not someone just copied the data from that previous NFT and is trying to sell it as the original. Especially as NFTs begin to have more reference to, they represent ownership of
Yes.
assets, of property, of anything else. It's going to be important. So within that FIO.id, you can also see if that person has signed any NFTs. And just for a demo, I actually created an NFT just for demo purposes, and I linked it to blockchain at Wayne. So I challenge, if you go to FIO.id website, it's as simple as that. Just type in FIO.id and you type in blockchain at Wayne. There's three tabs. There's one for payments, which shows all my wallet addresses. There's another one that said NFT signature, so you can see that NFT that I created. And if you click on it, it'll give you all the information about that NFT. And then you can also click on socials and see my socials. So it's a way to create your own decentralized link. And if I wanted somebody to go directly to it, it's really just FIO.id / whatever your handle is. So FIO.id / blockchain at Wayne, that's the link that'll take you directly to my information. And you can create one as well if you want for your business. If you're out networking, instead of having like a random link or trying to give someone your LinkedIn link, you can give them your FIO.id link, and then that'll take them to where they can see, connect with you on all your socials.
And actually, that's what I have started doing because I created Diane at Almays, and now I am sharing this, and it's so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I also say that, by the way, if you want to send me gifts, you can. You have all the blockchains options.
There you go. Look, I did that, and I was actually on a podcast recording, kind of like this, and yeah, I may just do that. I'll check it out. So this one guy was talking about how he had went on his own and figured out the FIO.id and set it up. And I said, let me see. And so I sent him like $5 worth of Solana. I typed in his handle, and sure enough, it worked. And while we were on the call, he got it.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Well, thank you very much, Wayne, for your time. I think now we have a better understanding of what FIO is doing, how it can help us, whether it be on the personal side or on the professional side. Maybe could you share with us some future plans of FIO?
Yeah, absolutely. So at FIO, one of the biggest things that we're looking to do is to continue to integrate into more wallets and exchanges and other partners. We've had a big focus on gaming. We've met a lot of gaming projects that want to use our protocol. So you're going to see a lot of gaming projects. We've signed some partnerships with different game studios and game development chains that are going to be sending the game developers to us to utilize our protocol. within there. So you're going to see a lot more of that. Something else coming up in the near future is the ability to, right now, if you own a domain, you have a couple options. You could try to resell that domain if you want. You can use it to create your own handles, or you can make it public for other people to create handles on your domain. But as far as right now, we have an affiliate program to where if you want to refer people using your link and they buy domains, you'll get 50% of that revenue if they buy a domain, but nothing for handles. So one of the things that we've talked about and looked at adding is almost like a registrar page. If you own a good domain that would be popular with people, you can set up. You'll be able to allow people to pay $1 to get their own handle on that domain, and
Yeah.
as the person that owns that domain, you'll get that 50% of that fee. So for every handle that someone would register on your domain, you would get 50 cents on that. So that's not live yet, but it's something that's going to be added to our affiliate program. And anybody and everybody can join our affiliate program. It's in the FIO app page. And so that's one of the things that I think is important because it adds more utility to a domain. I mean, somebody buys like a really cool domain that they really like, but they really don't have a way to monetize it unless they try to sell it. But imagine instead of trying to sell it, you could just actually earn money from holding it because you're having other people that like it that are registering handles on that domain. So that's something that's coming soon. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. We've got a lot of other partnerships, a lot of things that are in the works. We're just trying to be anywhere and everywhere people are going to use digital assets to make it easier. And the best way to do that is to be in as many places as possible.
Okay, thank you. So before we wrap up, there's three questions. Maybe you can answer quickly.
Sure.
The first one: when we buy a handle or a domain, is it a lifetime ownership that we have?
On the handle, it is. So the handle is a one-time registration. Now, if you want to buy your own domain, that's $40 per year. Um, so that's the difference between the two. But like I said, not everybody has to buy a domain. But
Mm,
if you do buy a domain, it's $40 per year. When you do register, you have the option to either do a 1, 2, or 3 year registration. So you have the option to either just register it for the first year, or you can pay up to 3 years at a time.
mm. Also, there's someone that says that he chose the free, but the same issue he has to pay. So maybe he didn't do something correctly, I think.
Yeah, once it has them log in, if they've ever set up a FIO handle somewhere else using the FIO app, even some of our partners use our FIO app page as well. And if it's the same login, then they will have to pay for the handle. So I'll check it out to see if there's any other issues. But that's usually the only time we see something like that. If they've set up a handle somewhere else, then it would allow them. I mean, it would make them pay for anything after that. So, but I'll see if there's any other issues with that because I haven't really come across that unless they already had a VO handle
And
set up
the
somewhere else.
and the last question, I didn't get it well, but someone says, can we from these domain names do transactions without a decentralized wallet or exchange?
The domain is just, well, one, it would have they would have to be a handle, right? The handle is what you
Mm,
can send and receive it, but you can't really do any kind of transactions without a wallet.
yeah.
Even in the FIO app, it's setting you up a FIO wallet to be able to hold your handles and domains. Or if you do it like an Edge wallet, you're using that wallet. So everything, all transactions originate
Mm,
from a wallet. Or if you're in an exchange, it's an exchange wallet. So you would have to set up, have something set up, and it's best. The whole point is you're sending and receiving assets, so it's best to have those wallets. I would challenge everybody, try it out in both places, because if you go into Edge Wallet, you get that handle for free too. So go into Edge Wallet, try out the Edge Wallet. It's a really good wallet. It's easy to set up. It doesn't you don't have to worry about writing a seed phrase down somewhere, and you can experience and set up your free username at Edge. And then also go into the FIO app page. It's app.fio.net, and go into there and set up a FIO handle and see. You can see that process where then you can link your wallet addresses to it. But with anything, like, you can listen and learn, but you don't really truly understand something until you do it. So I would say
yeah.
try it out, check it out. It's all your first handle within Edge is free. Your first handle within the FIO app is free, and then you can get an experience and see how it is. And then you may have more questions, and we're always available if you have any questions to reach out, whether it's through Diane. whether it's through our we have a Discord and a Telegram chat. We have moderators there all the time, willing to answer any questions. So feel free to send any other questions, or if you continue to have any problems, send them to us as well. Typically, uh, occasionally there's just like any other tech, there may be something that may not be working right, or maybe just be something that we can walk you through. Maybe something not being done right on either end, whether it's our end or yours.
So, guys, make sure to follow you on all the social media. I'll share the link. And Wayne, thanks again for your time. It was really good to have this information about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Diane. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Speak soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.